we've seen the G minor chord and the C minor chord, and that those are minor because from the root to the third is a whole tone and then a semitone, whereas a major third is two whole tones. Okay, so this dominant chord is a major type because from the D, from here to here is one whole tone here, from D to E, and then from E to F sharp, two whole tones. That gives what's called a major third. So it's a major type chord, so-called happy sound compared to the minor chord, which is like the sad sound. Now, with the dominant chord, there's a 7. There's always going to be a 7 in a dominant chord. I think that's true. And why is it called a 7? Well, this chord is built on the 5th note of the scale, of this G scale. 5th note is D. So it's a triad, so we count a third up. 1, 3, 5, and it goes all the way up to the C. So it starts D, F sharp, A, C. So we're adding that seventh tone of the D on top of that. Now, why do we want to do that? When you do that, what happens is you get this thing called a tritone. And think of it as a not restful. And just compare that with a D natural to the C. That's kind of restful, or a G to the C. Those are called restful, but then here, it's weird, it's kind of edgy. So that edginess is what gives the dominant chord its dynamic tension. It wants to move away. The F sharp and C, it wants to what's called resolve, either to here, to the major chord, or to the minor chord. Just to say that tritone is going to resolve to a different chord, bringing you back to the one chord. Now I just want to say a bit more about this concept of 4 whole tones and the distance, like how big is a tritone. For example, B to F is 4 whole tones. So B, C sharp, D sharp, F. That's 4 whole tones. Or you can go B flat to B flat C, D, E, so B flat to E. That's another tritone. And you hear how it sounds very dissonant, right? Now a G going up, how far would you have to count above G to get a tritone? 4 whole tones, so G, A, B, all good. Now, is it a whole tone from B to C? It's not, right? It's only a semitone, so it would be B to C sharp. So those 4 whole tones sound like this. And there you have your tritone. G to C sharp. That's the tritone that's in the chord A7. And that's going to want A7 is going to want to resolve to D or D minor, because A7 is 5 above D. So here you get this relationship, the 1, 5. The 5 wants to go back to 1. And it's related to the physical vibration of the overtones. And that's another whole big topic, but I'll put a link. Now, just the last thing about these extensions. We already saw the C minor or the G minor where you can have an E on it. And E is the 6th note of the G minor scale. So that chord is actually called G minor 6. And likewise with the C minor 6. Or a G minor 9. And the dominant chords, we have a D7, and you can add a 9 on top of that. That's the 1, 3, 5, 7, and we can add the 9. And the chord, very nice. And now you're getting into jazz chords. If you add the 6 and the 7, you get a 13 chord. So then you're into this realm of jazz. So that's going to want to resolve to the G minor. Or let's say a G minor 6. And that's beyond the scope of this course. There's a little demo underneath, and I'm going back and forth from G minor to D7. On the G minor, you'll notice I'm also putting in the E, which is the 6, and the A, which is the 9. So practice that, and see you in the next one.